Welcome to the Big Biz Show. You want fast-talking, hard-hitting discussions on business and finance? Maybe with a barroom slant and some really salty peanuts? We're not counting calories. We're counting cash. Before we get to the man with the financial plan, meet the money team. Costa, Mary, now Captain Finance himself, Sully.
Live from the Loft 100 studios here in sunny Southern California, it is the Big Biz Show. Wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, we appreciate you being along for the ride. It's like we like to say around these here parts.
A big old howdy to ya.
There you go. That is the Day Trader Trio. Oh, God, what is that?
Our new merch. We're going to start selling it.
What is that?
Well, you're always talking about no one would ever.
AI.
That's AI generated.
No. I literally went on Amaze.co. Aaron, one of our guests who's coming up on the show, and they're selling that T-shirt right now. You always say it's not on T-shirts, but it sure is.
It is. It's your face.
Right there.
Time to start the show. Howie Font, our analyst out of New York City, is here today. If he's wearing that T-shirt, I'm walking off the set.
That would be the best.
Yeah.
There he goes. What's up, Howard? Hey, what is this new thing, this new visa that I'm hearing? A big overhaul with the Labor Department, and I'm hearing things like a $100,000 fee from employers for a specific H-1B visa and so on and so forth. Talk about that.
Yeah, that's right. So it's been in discussion for months and months now, but the H-1B visa system is how companies pull in highly educated workers that are not supposed to be findable in the U.S. And there's a yearly quota or a maximum of like 85,000 of these that go out. The vast majority are hired by the Mag 7 companies. It usually costs, the system as it is now, you pay like $3,000 to $5,000 as a fee to the government just for processing when your visa is approved. And, you know, you're an employee, you're tied to the company, and go on your way. The Trump administration and the Labor Department is pushing a new system where you're going to have a $100,000 fee up front. It's one time only, but that's a huge jump for companies and a bigger expense for companies.
Sure.
They're also giving the Trump Gold Card. That's $1 million. Then that will give you basically a green card at a high, very expedited rate. And if you're an employer, you can pay $2 million and you can give your gold card to an employee. And that is transferable between employees.
How much does it cost for the platinum card?
Platinum card. You're going straight for the platinum. So before I explain that, let's just explain the situation. The U.S. is one of the only countries that taxes your global income. So if you live in Canada, Canada taxes what you make in Canada. They don't tax anything you make in Europe or the rest of the world. The U.S. is not like that. The U.S. taxes you based on your worldwide income. And so that stopped a lot of people from moving to the U.S., a lot of rich people, because they don't want their whole worldwide income taxed. The platinum card is $5 million. You don't get to stay here full time, but you do get 270 days of residency yearly without your taxes being, without you being charged taxes on your global income.
So this is obviously for highly scaled CEOs.
Oh, yeah.
That have scaled their companies to the point where they want to live in the U.S. and they're willing to pay the $1 million or the $5 million.
By the way, the gold card, you can borrow the money.
Yeah, but the point.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge money grab for the U.S. government too. And keep in mind, I mean, if you look at the free market side of this thing, you're bringing in more skilled and intelligent people to work on some of the highest revenue companies there are, which is creating more jobs, which is creating more economic activity. And now we're also getting a fee for that into the U.S. government. I mean, it's kind of a win-win. I mean, it's a ridiculous amount of money.
Is the HB one, I'm sorry, whatever it was, Howie, isn't that making companies then hire more American workers?
Yeah, that's part of what they're trying to do. They want to raise a lot of money. The gold card and the platinum card are about raising money.
Sure.
The change to the H-1B system is to try and force companies to train American workers instead of hiring from abroad.
Howie, stay there. We're going to continue with you coming up next break.
All right. Much more to come with Howie Font, our Big Biz Show market analyst. Keep it right here. Back after this.
Loft 100 Studios, The Big Biz Show, our affiliates, and our hosts are not registered investment advisors or broker-dealers.
Our show hosts make no commitment that the purchase of securities of companies profiled or otherwise mentioned in our programming
are suitable or advisable for any persons, or that investment in such securities would be profitable in general.
Given the nature of our company's profile and the lack of an active trading market for their securities, and investing is highly speculative and carries a high degree of risk. We profile selected publicly traded and privately held companies on our program.
Most of these companies that we profile have provided compensation to Loft 100 Studios and its host for the profile coverage.
3, 2, 1.
From time to time, we sell shares of the companies profiled in the open market that we receive as compensation for coverage of client companies.
But never sell stock if we are speaking about, interviewing, or covering a public company who has paid compensation.
Specific questions on compensation can be obtained by contacting producer at sullyandgroup.com.
Listeners should verify all claims and do their own due diligence before investing in any securities mentioned on this program.
Investing in securities is speculative and carries a high degree of risk.
We encourage our investors to invest carefully. Duh.
And read the investor information available on the website.
On the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, at www.sec.
Or the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, FINRA, at www.finra.org.
Over 175 countries, all the ships at sea on the American Forces Network, as always. Shout out to our brave men and women of the United States Armed Forces. That is the Day a Trader Trio as the Big Biz Show rolls on. Costa, Marybert Godwin, and of course, Sully.
There we go. I got a question for you.
I have an answer.
It's for Howie.
Oh.
About the existing H-1B system. Why are we changing it? What I want to know is, obviously it's a money grab. I mean, it's a big overhaul, but is it just for the money, Howie?
With this proposal is, yes, it is a money grab, but it's not at the $1 million or the $5 million that the gold and platinum card is. This is really to disincentivize its use and to push hiring Americans. The argument against that is, this is very highly used by the Mag 7, but it also is the visa that's used to bring in doctors into the country, to bring in, actually one-off, very specialized people that, there aren't a lot of in the world. I mean, if we want access
all the
to
employees that were in the Bonds movies, right? When you brought over the mad scientist from another country?
Yeah.
That's these guys.
No, exactly. But this is kind of a weird thing because 70% of these are given to Indian immigrants and another 15% are given to Chinese. So it's not being given evenly around the world. I mean, we're taking from one place specifically and causing brain drain in India. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, we've got two of the Mag 7 CEOs, Sundar Pichai and Satya Nadella, that came on H-1Bs. Elon Musk came on an H-1B. So I don't know if this is something, if this is the golden goose that we want to break. And I also think that, I don't think it's a good thing for us to make it harder to bring in doctors in the country.
Did you say?
So it probably needs to be more fine-tuned.
Did you say that one of our staff musicians is on an H-1B visa?
Yes, she mentioned something about that.
So
She's worried about what this is because she just saw the headline of $100,000.
Yeah. What about the other H-1B visa holders that are not
specified performer, musician, and she works in the country?
The White House could have done a better job being clear about this. They came back and the press secretary released more specifics. And to be fair, companies like Microsoft and Amazon issued notices saying, get back into the country immediately. We don't know when these changes are going to happen. But this is for new applications only, not for renewals, and nothing changes for current holders. So if you already have the visa, you're fine, you're safe, no problem. again, this is not an annual fee. This is a one-time application fee that's going from $3,000 to $5,000 to $100,000, mostly as a disincentive.
Hey, let's turn the page of the market real quick. There is sign of life here in terms of short-term interest rates, short-term bond, long-term bond, which will affect mortgage rates, as well as regular stock market. What's the latest that you're seeing here? Because it looks like
sign of life. We're at all-time highs. The market is at all-time highs. They gave us a cut last week. They're signaling more cuts. We talked about it a couple shows ago, but basically when this kind of setup happens in the market, you can look for this time next year the market being about 15% higher, which is incredible actually, given how far we've already run up.
The the interesting part too is here we go with 5 months left to go here. There's strategy planning for the end of the year tax losses that are going on, which may not be as dramatic as we think. And there's also the big healthcare open enrollment here in the next 2 weeks for everyone. So it's going to be an interesting fourth quarter. What comes out, if you believe it or not. We're in October.
That's important for the employment figures, because when you have the open enrollment, it makes it kind of easier for people to move their jobs around. After that, it gets a little bit stickier. If you have healthcare attached to employer and they've locked your healthcare down for the year, you after the deadline, then what happens to employment numbers? And then, like you said, the rebalancing that's going to happen at the end of October. I mean, it's always big for the market. I said that the market's going to be up 15% if we're in a year based on historical trends, but it's going to be more volatile for sure.
Can you also, before we get out, we haven't talked about, what's interesting? We are such fish. All the things that we get all worked up about. Do you remember the P. Diddy thing? Did that go away? You remember tariffs? We haven't talked about either of those.
Climate change.
Right. What's going on with tariffs? And the two things I want to talk about is we keep on kicking the can down the road a little bit with this TikTok, is it, isn't it type thing in terms of selling off to a U.S. Shareholder. And then also,
that is like nuclear energy and stem cell research. It's like the TikTok deal. It's almost done. It's going to be here in 2 months.
It's like the mythical 5G. It's like the mythical 5G that we never actually got, right? And our tariffs baked in yet? I mean, the way I see Donald Trump, how he did this was he originally wanted tariffs to end up at around 20%. So of course he asked for 135%, and he ends up at where? 20%, or 15 or something.
So, what's interesting about that is, we have this court case, and that said the tariffs are illegal, but then stayed that decision until I think towards the end of October. So the Supreme Court is actually going to hear that, and will give the final word about what the president's allowed to do. So that is really.
Well, that was a great example of wag the dog. I mean, it was an incredible negotiating tactic because he got exactly what he wanted at the end, or at least it appears that he will. Howie, thanks, buddy. Appreciate
it. Howie Font, Big Biz Show market analyst. Always love our visits with him.
Do you know, I understand that he and Devin came together again with Howie and Devin?
They did?
Yeah, there's more content coming. Maybe we can play some now.
Yeah, I just want to see the pics. All right, keep it here. A lot more to come with the Big Biz Show. Do not go anywhere.
Howie, I keep hearing about all these different landings. Hard landings, soft landings. What are we doing? We're talking Tinder dates? We're talking airplanes? What's going on here?
Yeah. No, we're not talking about planes, Devin. It's all about how the economy is going to act with all this inflation and whether or not we're going to have a recession.
Oh, I don't like that word.
I don't like that. Put your tongue back in your mouth.
Soft landing is when economies slow down just enough to bring down inflation, but not so much that we're out of jobs and the market drops.
So, let me get this straight. It's like when you're at a party and you're about to fall down because you had a couple too many G&Ts. That's a gin and tonic for everyone back at home. And then you go to catch yourself using your boss's wife as a safety net. And then on the way down, as she hits the ground, you save the G&T, don't spill a drop, but then your boss is mad about the whole wife thing and then you lose your job. Am I pretty much hitting that on the head?
You're fired. Get out of
That's such a oddly specific example. Let me try this another way. The Federal Reserve is trying to tweak interest rates in the hopes that it'll cool things down just a bit. They're hoping to ease inflation and avoid the recession altogether. If they pull it off, that's a soft landing. A hard landing is when the worst case scenario, they raise rates too fast or too high, or some event happens the Fed can't control, and the economy just crashes. Businesses are going to close, people lose their jobs, it gets harder to run the economy just in general. Jerome Powell is the guy running the Fed. He's in the pilot seat. He's trying to steer us toward that soft landing, but it's tricky. Some folks think that he will slam on the brakes too hard, and that could lead to an even harder landing.
So it's like if Powell and the Fed don't play it just right and smooth this in with all the interest rates and the mumbo jumbo, we nosedive and bust our face muscle.
Actually, pretty close. It all depends on things like the jobs report, inflation numbers, and how people are spending. It's a balancing act.
Let's hope this Powell guy's got steady hands. Last thing I need is another crisis cramping my style, you know what I mean?
Your lifestyle is a crisis.
You're watching the Big Biz Show.
From the friendly confines of Loft 100 Studios in Southern California, it is the Big Biz Show. So happy you guys are with us. Those guys right there, the Day Trader Trio, we get to listen to them every single show. Yes, we are lucky. Back here at the bar, it's Costa, it's Maribert Godwin, and of course it's Sully.
Well. Have you gotten your email about your job offer because they're hiring? Or your text message saying that they're hiring?
Oh, yeah.
Every 5
I did
minutes?
just get an email about a woman that just lost $4,300 because she's fell for a phishing scam on
Well,
LinkedIn.
I gave them my credit card, and I should be receiving the money that's in about a week or so.
I'm getting I'm getting $6 million because I sent 5,000 to Ethiopia, and I'm getting a printout.
Yeah.
Look at us.
Give me some of the money.
Living the high life.
Yeah, we won't be doing the show much longer. Steve JJ Weisman is our scam man. He wrote the book, The Truth About Avoiding Scams, as well as Identity Theft Alert and about 15 other books. He's an attorney, he's a law professor, and like he likes to say, things aren't as bad as you think, they're far worse. And once again, on the Big Biz, Steve, how are you, sir? There's I know that you cursed me because I talked you in about 10 years ago as a guest on the show to start. I said, you should put something out every day. And you started, and now you're stuck on scamicide.com, and he does a scam per day on what's happening. And we were talking about, going to the end of the year and people doing financial planning, and here come the social security emails, right?
And I gotta say, this new Social Security email scam that I'm seeing, it's one of the best ever. And I attribute a lot of this now to AI. And so you've got scammers here that aren't necessarily the best educated, and you've got people in foreign countries where English is not their primary language. Who before they used to be laughable what you get. But now the email that is circulating at the moment says it's from Social Security, and it just urges you to check out your statement, and it gives you a link. Now the thing is that if you have that My Social Security account, which is you register an account where you can do all your Social Security dealings online with the SSA, they actually will send you, it's the only time, they'll send you an email suggesting that you check out your statement. But the key thing is there will never be a link in there. And it'll be, if it comes to you, it will have your actual name in there. So that's the key thing here is you've got to know that they're never going to send you anything with a link. The one real kind of flaw in this one was that the email address of the sender, if you look at it, had absolutely nothing to do with Social Security. And generally the really good scammers are going to have an email address that looks more legitimate. But this one is probably going to snare a lot of people who are going to click on that link and get into problems.
That is the first thing I look for, actually, is the email, the sending email address. Then I look at their signature line, and I kind of look for the logo, because a lot of times it's like a blurred logo. It's not a real legitimate logo.
Or typos.
And then I look for typos, yeah.
Yeah. The funniest thing is, the logos generally are getting better now, particularly with AI. And the typos are funny because I've gotten some typos from government agencies with flaws in it. I do have to tell you about one scam I just learned about today that is just the best. In a way, it's kind of typical. And what it is, people get a phone call. It's spoofed. So if you look at your caller ID, it looks like it's coming from local law enforcement. Yeah. And the name is legitimate because they're using the names of local law enforcement. Wow. And they tell you that you failed to You failed to attend a trial that you were subpoenaed for. They've got all the legal jargon down. It sounds really good. And unless you go and give them a bond to secure any charges against you, you're going to be arrested right away. Now, this kind of thing does happen periodically. The thing I found the most interesting was that the scam was being operated from a Georgia state prison around the country with phones that were dropped into the prison by clone. Can't even get the words out. So this thing, I mean, the guys now are going to be going from getting the drones to give them the phones, and now they're moving from Georgia State Prison to federal prison. Right. But at least they were doing something constructive with their time.
Right.
And if you consider what's happening with being able to verify if you're getting it from the government or such, they have that new ID.me across all platforms, and it's across not only IRS or Social Security, but it's also across the franchise tax boards in states. And I think it's turning into a two-factor identification to where you can actually control a little bit. But the problem is when people are not aware of it and they just get an email and click on the email. I mean, that's we've met the enemy. It's us, right? I mean, they're going to be coming at us. Talk to us about the evil twin Wi-Fi story. That's pretty interesting.
Ooh.
Yeah, and the term was coined by a Florida attorney general, and the gist of it is people use public Wi-Fi all the time. You go to a Starbucks or a mall or whatever, and you don't know if that's real Wi-Fi for the mall, for Starbucks, or if it's one from the scammer who's sitting next to you and then is going to get into your phone and get all of your information, your passwords, whatever. So first of all, you got to make sure that your phone is not set to pick up the latest, closest Wi-Fi network. That can be a problem. And then you really have to be very, very careful about what you do if you're using public Wi-Fi. Quite frankly, I say anything that you have to put in a password, you don't do any purchasing on there. Maybe you look at ESPN.com or something, but you got to be really, really careful. If you're going to be extra careful, you might want to get a VPN, a virtual private network that will encrypt whatever you're doing, and in that way it'll keep you from falling prey to this kind of a scam. But
it reminds me back to Rusty Nails, God rest his soul. Went to a wedding in Russia, and goes to the hotel lobby and what's the Wi-Fi password? What could go wrong? Comes back, his entire system is decimated. I go, so let me get this straight. You're sitting in a Russian hotel and you're asking for the public Wi-Fi. It's typical.
I was going to say, never get on the Wi-Fi in a hotel.
Steve, JJ Weisman, his website saves so many people so much money, scamicide.com.
Do you remember one of the original scam? It was a Target scam, Steve, that you brought to light to us probably 10 years ago. And they got through the air conditioning. They went through a Wi-Fi controller through the air conditioning thermostat to find their way in, and it really turned the point in terms of how dangerous this is for data breaches. We've got one just probably twice that size with the Farmers Insurance data breach. I mean that's affecting millions of people.
Yeah, and it's very similar too, because what you're dealing with is what we call supply chain. So Target was actually pretty secure. So they went to one of their third-party vendors that, like you said, did their heating and air conditioning, went through them and got their access. So there's a company called Salesforce that does customer relationship management for companies in the cloud. And they have been hacked, but they've been hacked not even through their computers. It's social engineering. The hackers, who have been Russian hackers, have gone in and they just call and convince the people at Salesforce that they're from one of these companies that's using them, and they allow them to get in. So farmers, 1 million people have been caught with this. Allianz Life, TransUnion, Pandora, Cisco, Chanel, Dior, Louis Vuitton, Tiffany, Qantas. It's a real huge problem, and Salesforce, which deals with so many companies, is responsible for not having good security. And there's a class action now, we'll see what happens with it, to kind of hold them responsible. But the fact that people are falling for these social engineering tricks is really bothersome.
Stephen, JJ Weisman, scamicide.com. You want to save yourself some money and some heartache and some time? Scamicide.com is the website to go to. All right, do not go anywhere. Keep it right here. Much more to come with our Big Biz Show.
Loft 100 Studios, the Big Biz Show, and our affiliates and our hosts are not registered investment advisors or broker-dealers.
Our show hosts make no commitment that the purchase of securities of companies profiled or otherwise mentioned in our programming
are suitable or advisable for any person, or that an investment in such securities will be profitable in general.
Given the nature of the company's profile and the lack of an active trading market for the securities, investing is highly speculative and carries a certain high degree of risk.
We profile selected publicly traded and privately held companies on our program.
Most of these companies that we profile have provided compensation to Loft 100 Studios and its hosts for the profile coverage.
From time to time, we sell shares of the companies profiled in the open market that we receive as compensation for coverage of client companies.
But never sell stocks if we are speaking about interviewing or covering a public company who has paid compensation.
Specific questions on compensation can be obtained by contacting producer at sullyentgroup.com.
Listeners should verify all claims and do their own due diligence before investing in any securities mentioned on this program.
Investing in securities is speculative and carries a high degree of risk.
We encourage our investors to invest carefully and read the investor information available at the websites on the
Securities and Exchange Commission at sec.gov and or the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, FINRA, at www.finra.org.
I like it.
Hey, is that a rescue plane?
We continue on the Big Biz Show, live from the Loft 100 Studios. As always, appreciate you being along for the ride. That is the world-famous Day Trader Trio. Best in the business, no less than self-taught. Back here at the bar, it's Costa, Merriman, Godwin, and it is Sully.
Good to see you guys. What are we at? 80 million homes now? It's 175 countries and all the ships at sea.
All the emails I get from around the world of people who hate me, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Wait a second, though. But we got that. We got a new list of where we're at. You can find us
pretty much
on
everywhere.
Spreaker, on Spotify. You can find us on BizTV. You can find us on Bloomberg El Financiero. I mean, Mary redid the thing. You know, the thing and the thing.
The thing. Oh, you remember the thing?
You did the thing.
Yes, I know.
You know that we're on the air somewhere every hour of the day. So I wake up in the morning.
Yep.
And 4:30, somebody's email. Oh, I love your interview with Aaron Day. I go, what? And it's playing at 2 in the morning.
Exactly.
Speaking of Aaron Day.
Aaron Day is the CEO of Amaze, and their ticker symbol is AMZE. And he was so excited to join us. He said, no, I'm not doing Zoom. I'm going to helicopter down from my palatial state in Huntington Beach, California. He is here at the bar with us. Aaron, welcome to the Big Biz Show.
Thanks, guys. I have to ask, so you guys are in the business of content creators and monetizing content creation online. And we've been hearing about this since 1998 when we first got that Netscape browser. And our America Online, I believe it was called.
A free CD.
And everyone always said content is king. And that's what's going to happen. I don't think anybody really knew what it meant, but you seem to have it figured out. So why don't you give us an overview real quick?
Yeah, so content is king, queen, and everything else you want to call it, right? It is what rules the world today. There's somewhere between 300 to 400 million professional creators, semi-professional creators. People making $50,000 a year or more creating content.
Now, are we confusing creators with so just so we can understand, is that an influencer or is that just, are those separate?
Big difference between a creator and an influencer. Okay. A creator is somebody who has a full-time job creating unique content, anything you could think of. It could be a business, a restaurant, a bar, a yoga instructor, who cares, right? They're making content and they're building a community online. Any of the platforms. An influencer already has some followers. Influencer is doing deals with brands and helping promote a third-party brand on social media, right? So,
and they also may be content creators though, because they're the ones coming up with the video content that they're promoting. The brand,
absolutely,
right?
and they wouldn't be worthwhile to a brand unless they had a community that they could attract and promote the product to, right?
Is the internet turning into one big QVC? I mean, is that what it's coming down to?
It feels like it.
If China has its way, yes. Okay. Yeah.
We're one big home shopping channel, right?
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
It's the next generation of the home shopping network. It really is. So.
And I remember, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that I remember, it switched from content is king to video is king. Because video is the content.
Well, yeah, because they used to call it vodcast and then podcast. Well, podcast is the same thing now. It's all one.
But that's showing our age a little bit because gaming is king. Like, if you look at the gaming platforms, Twitch, Roblox, Patreon, you got the next generation of people sharing content through gaming platforms,
Okay.
through video platforms, through, look, WhatsApp.
Yeah.
WhatsApp has become a
Really?
content creation platform, right?
Did not know that.
Yeah, it's everywhere. So, so anywhere you touch anybody, it's becoming a content play. So.
Talk about what Amaze does, because you guys fit here pretty uniquely here, and it's only getting better.
So, for somebody who doesn't have a lot of experience in social media, what we do basically is we integrate a commerce engine into social platforms. So you guys have a YouTube channel. As soon as you hit 500 subscribers on YouTube, a little red flag pops up and says, would you like to monetize? Our software is then used to allow someone to embed a shopping experience inside of YouTube. So the benefit of that is then, so if I'm creating a video and you have a nice shirt on, you can tag that video during your video, somebody can buy it. It doesn't matter what device, TV, smartphone, whatever. So we created this software in 2021 that allows you to integrate into social media platforms, and then we realized that every media platform was different.
Yeah.
They're all broken in some way, right?
Yeah.
And we said, well, let's just create one that is common across all fan bases. So now we have integrations today with TikTok, Twitch, Discord, OnlyFans, YouTube, Adobe, PixArt, all these different platforms. And what it allows is the creator to create a selling experience and the fan to see one experience. And so we become that company that allows for sort of this integrated universal commerce engine. Platforms love us because we keep people on their platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People view more content, because we don't force them to leave to go to a Shopify store.
I was going to say, so when you click on something to buy it, it's not going to send you to another third-party app. You're going to do it right there in the platform.
In most cases, yes. There's a few times where the integration may not be robust enough where you have to go out to a third party, but anybody who wants to have it that way, anybody who's smart, because they make their money off ad revenue, right? They embed it, and the commerce experience happens in the platform.
And you can do Instagram too, huh?
So Instagram, so funny.
Funny you should ask.
Are they
Funny
playing
you should
the
ask.
sandbox
So
nicely with you?
in the spring of 2024, for whatever reason, Meta decided that they didn't want to have integrated commerce anymore. So we were integrated purely in Instagram and Facebook, and they decided to change their algorithm so no one's integrated there anymore. So only commerce that happens in Meta today is via some sort of link in, like a link in bio application.
Yeah.
So you have to have a link in, so you still don't get that pure experience there. But I think what it's showing you is some of these platforms are 20 years old. Yeah, their technology is a bit older, right? So the newer platforms coming up that you see coming out in the marketplace now are all built from the ground up, integrated.
So this is an infrastructure, is what this play is. Because if you look at, for example, there's a company called Retailligence, and Retailligence keeps live track. You ever go look at a pair of shoes and say, or watch, and there's two in your size. Any site you go on, there's always two in your size, because that's all there is in the universe. Because Retailligence do the data scraping to find out what the real inventory is, and every retailer is looking at that. And what's interesting about that backbone is that it's proprietary, and many retailers can't do without it. I can see this sort of same thing on the front end here with you guys. If you guys integrating into some of these commerce websites, there's going to be a time when they can't live without you, because this is going to be the new paradigm.
Yes and no. So it's really important. Like, there's this massive psychological movement where the minute I create the first piece of content, I think I can do this for a living. Okay, it's a drug, guys. Excuse my language. It's a drug, right?
Yeah.
And I start doing it. I get a few followers, 500, 1,000 followers, and I think I'm the next, Mr. Beast, right?
Yeah.
But I can't monetize so they come.
Nobody's looking yet.
Yeah. So they come to us, and even with a small community, we help them make some money.
Gotcha.
They start making some money, and then they use that money to get a little bit better content. And so the ones that are entrepreneurial, nothing's changed, right? If you have a little bit of entrepreneurial spirit, you take that money, you put it back in, you get professional content, and you grow your audience base, right? Or you do research, or you look at data. So you think about us as that first, second monetization experience, and then watch what happens, right? And then when you get really, really big, we're not an agency, right? We help you on your way up, right? And so we are contagious a bit, because once you start making that money, you want to make that money.
Is your model a transaction-based? Like you get a little chunk of everything, or you take a fee for some of the stuff, or is it one size doesn't
we
fit all?
we get a revenue share on everything sold, physical or digital products. So we get a chunk there, nice margin, nice chunk, and we're getting more and more subscription fees because as these people grow up, and they need tax services, they need financial services, they need marketing services. Yeah. They need all these different things. We're embedding more and more of those services in our platform.
Can you stay with us? Because I want to talk about where AI is going with this. Was crypto coming to this thing? Does digital currency happen? I mean, you guys are really at the tip of the spear for a lot of this stuff. And there's so much more to talk about. The name of the company is Amaze.
Aaron Day, CEO, AMZE, the ticker symbol. Website is amaze.co. More with Aaron Day right after this. Big Biz Show rolls on live from the Loft 100 studios. Day Trader Trio right there, and back at the bar, of course, it's Costa, it's Marybird Godwin, and it's Sully.
We are brought to you by Prudential. Let Prudential be your rock for retirement. Also brought to you by Bayer Advance. Better science, better results. Starbucks coffee. I'm hopped up on some right now. As well as Bloomin' Brands and their fine family of restaurants, including Outback Steakhouse. It serves authentic Australian food. As the Bloomin' Onions are growing on the side of the road on the way to Brisbane.
I am such a simpleton because I laugh at it every single time.
Every time.
Well, and you know they've got the Santa Fe chicken and they've got the Hawaiian chicken. Then one time they messed it up, so they just took the little pepper on this one and then went something like that. Do you remember the Sizzler?
Sizzler. Oh my God. Oh my. Little Texas toast. Yeah. You betcha.
Reintroduce our guest here.
Aaron Day is the CEO of Amaze. Their website is amaze.co. Ticker symbol is AMZE. So happy to have him in studio for his first visit on the Big Biz Show.
So speaking of AI is coming. Is that in the plans at all? Because I mean, you don't know what you don't know about this yet. Just like we didn't know about the internet when we first got into this content creation word. Is there something there that could open up a new door, or is it already happening?
Well, so we have AI pretty much everywhere under the hood. So think about this. So publicly, we talk about the fact that we have a little bit over 13 million creator storefronts. We don't talk about the millions and millions of listings and people who come in and do other things. And we have about 200 million people who come in once a month or more to a store. Jeez. So we see what people put into a shopping cart. We see what people look at. So there's a massive data set there. So what we've been doing, and we've been learning and growing rapidly, is using AI to onboard a creator and map them to fan bases that we know are going to perform.
Wow.
So think about your show, right? Think about your community globally, right? Let's say you decide you're going to launch a new Sully guitar brand, something like that, right? We'll use AI to scan all your followers on social media, look at who they are, and then we'll compare them to what they've done in other shopping carts and other transactions. And we'll identify a group of people who we think are the most likely to buy something from you.
So
that's AI, right? That's us using database, large language models, but we don't come out and say amaze.ai because it's not our core culture. It's helping creators monetize, right?
So here's my question on that, because that's remarkable to me, because we don't know the outcome of TikTok. Okay, we've got 100,000 followers and 3 million active views just on this stupid thing called Sully Speaks Money.
Yep.
Now I want to convert that into Sully's guitars. Okay. Right. So no longer Sully Speaks Money. That what you're talking about allows people to do that. You can take your fan base, because I just suggest, because what did Corey say, or Corey Perlman, our social media guy that comes on? He says, if TikTok goes away, you better take all those followers and turn them into emails quick, because they're all going to go away into thin air. Last of all, talk about the digital currency market and commerce going in here.
So we announced about a month ago, you can now transact on our platform with stablecoin. The next phase of what comes, so we've got creators in 104 countries around the world, selling to fans in 120 countries. So once you start to understand creators outside the United States, their ability to move money around is very, very difficult. So they're trying to move money cross borders. So For us, the easy thing is just adding crypto, maybe adding a coin in the future, just to really accelerate the
on-ramp, maybe?
The on-ramp, right? Yeah. But look, there's a lot of people approaching me today saying, with your distribution, with your access to so many people, we've got like 2 billion data points, right? Right. Maybe you should launch like an Amaze coin, right? But I don't know yet. It's something we're talking about.
Would that be proprietary for just Amaze Commerce for everybody on the platform, or or it could be an investment vehicle eventually?
So because we control the entire operational supply chain transaction, we control the flow of funds. So there's a huge amount of funds that are held up for a period of time while a transaction is closing, something's shipping, something's being fulfilled, right? And that money sits there. Yeah. And so unlike a traditional bank, what if it became a funding source for a coin or a backstop for a currency, right? So there's a lot of that kind of stuff we're thinking about that we're just not big enough yet. We're working on it, but it's coming. So.
Well, thanks for being so generous with your time. Before we let you out of here, though, you got what's going on? What are you looking forward to most in the next 6 months, 18 months? The stuff that you can tell us. I mean, let's say you're a CEO of a public company, so we know we can't know everything.
Well, I'm going to tell you something pretty new. So we signed this week a binding letter of intent to acquire thefoodchannel.com.
Wow.
And I'm really...
The Food Channel? Like the Food Channel?
Thefoodchannel.com.
Wow.
Starving.
And it was... I don't know how it's going to do with my waistline, but my wife may not like that. But anyways, the reality of it is that, there's over 100,000 people on thefoodchannel.com creating content 24/7. Yep. We have close to 60,000 content creators who focus just on food preparation alone.
You can merge into that.
Merge them together. And so the idea of now working with some of our new tech partners, like we have a technology partner with the guys from Pulse, the guys from Parler, the guys from Edgecast, the guys from Play TV. And so think about what we can do with the Food Channel as a completely integrated vertical creator economy sort of space. Yeah. I'm super excited about that. I think this will be really interesting.
So what does it look? So real quickly, what does it look like from the creator's point of view in terms of, okay, now they've been creating on your platform, they're creating content, they're creating some money, they know they got to pay a fee for that. When they have opportunity for bigger distribution, which is what this exactly is, do they pay a fee for that, or they just get rolled into it?
So that's, I'm going to answer that a little bit differently.
I just gave you a new business model, pal.
Okay, well, so when people ask me, Aaron, why did you go public?
Yeah.
The reason we went public was, my belief was that opening up venture funding to these rapidly growing new brands would be much easier in a public company setting. Yeah. So I already have a whole handful of people coming to me saying, hey, when this brand starts to take off, like Lululemon or Viore or whoever it may be, Mr. Beast, we want to fund that, right? And so the issue that these people have is historically, they start to grow rapidly. They get to a couple million in sales. All of a sudden, all the trends are there. The data's there. They should be a $50 million brand, a $100 million brand. Yeah. Somebody takes 40% of it.
Yeah. In fact, every retail brand like that hits 10 million. They're out of money.
Yeah, they're out of money, right? So all of a sudden, I come in and say, well, what if we backstop you through a venture fund, a JV, publicly, and you maintain ownership, but I get a small piece of it, right? I think that's how it's going to go in the future. Right. That's what I think.
Viore's first television appearance was right here on the Big Biz Show.
That's right.
Joe Cudler.
Yeah.
Well, and now we get to say Aaron Day's first appearance was right here on the
Aaron,
Big Biz
you got to
Show.
come back and see us. So we have more. And since we pay no attention to our social media at all.
Yeah.
And you don't have an integrated store, by the way. You need
we don't have anything.
I know. That's what I'm like. Can we talk after this?
I decided a long time ago, well, we got a TV show, get a website. What the hell else do we? And we realized how much money was left on the table in the last 30 years?
Aaron Day, CEO Amaze, ticker symbol AMZE. Also important, their website, amaze.co. And we are going to CO you later. That is the end of the Big Biz Show for today. Thank you for being along for the ride. We will see you next time.